Okay, who am I connected to? Am I streaming at all? It says I'm streaming. Who did it connect to? Okay, a couple of short videos. These guys are going off on Anna for her pivot, and she does seem to be. I've seen some red flags about her myself, and I do agree with these guys to some extent. I don't agree with them on everything here, but I do think they are getting it pretty close to what is going on with TYT. I have my own suspicions about what's going on with at least Jake. Anna, not really, but Jake definitely, I believe. I think he's concerned about being deported. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see what the Vanguard has to say here for a minute.
Excuse me. Listen to them. In the case of the radio, they're tearing out their fucking eyes because our left and right tackles are playing like dog shit, and I don't care that we're 12-1. You know what I'm saying? God forbid if we were 3-11 or some shit like that, or excuse me, 3-10. I can't do math when I'm angry. But do you know what I'm saying, guys? Like, you'd be pulling your hair out. Nobody would call into Chief Super Fan Power Hour and be like, why aren't you guys Chiefs fan? You guys have been criticizing nothing but the Chiefs. And it's like, yeah, dude, because we want them to be better. That was a clumsy analogy, but you guys see what I'm getting at here, right? Nobody makes those lousy, stupid, lazy criticisms of mainstream media like, oh, all you're doing is talking about one thing. Yeah, that's because that's what our fucking show is about.
Yeah, and the only difference is obviously our criticism.
But I do believe that in Jake's case, he might just be afraid of being deported. He is a naturalized citizen, and Trump says he's going after people like Jake. So, yeah. Could he be worried about being deported? That is a possibility. I would be worried about it if I was him, but then again, I'm not in his boat, so. But I do have family members that are in that boat, so I am concerned, obviously.
Anyway, yeah. Speaking of which, if anybody wants to watch Sam Harris get absolutely humiliated by the most milquetoast establishment lib of all time, Ezra Klein, he wipes the floor with him when they have to talk about the bell curve, because Sam Harris went on a real racist rabbit hole. Like, if you guys don't know, and you are like, oh, wasn't he the anti-God guy that Joe Rogan had a fling with? Yes. And then he went full-on white supremacist Nazi, crazy Klan worshiper kind of a guy. Like, oh, let me just feel the top of your head and see how smart you're going to be and which race is superior. It's crazy listening to the kind of stuff. They'll, like, no context for the outside world, no like anything, just I want to validate that I'm the smartest guy, and I'm going to try and clinically defend my viewpoints of
And
hateful.
then when you try to like stick up for the rights of marginalized people, or like in the case of the Sam Harris thing, black people that try to like be not a piece of shit racist, they like gaslight you, and they're like, what, you don't believe science? What, you don't? And look at the study, bro. It shows that black people have a lower IQ than me. What you don't believe in science and data? It's like, okay.
Yeah, dude. And it's crazy too, because then Sam Harris will finally like regain consciousness and be able to critically think for a moment in a vacuum and have debates with people about the COVID vaccine, where he's like, well, yeah, that's just any fucking, what are you going to cite something random and say, oh, there was a study in Malaysia that said this, and I'm not familiar with it, I'll be honest and tell you, and then you'll be like, well, you should really do your homework, right? Like, we can play this game forever. And he absolutely savages Brett Weinstein about that, and he's like, oh, you know how this academic game works. We could both make up random studies or talk about horseshit studies that aren't credible or that nobody knows and that haven't been influential and haven't been peer reviewed and looked over, and we could both cite those to make our points to each other, but that's not how you do real clinical academic work, etc. Anyway, TYT is left as Lex Fridman is left. Laughable, dude. That's so funny. Lex Fridman may be the single lousiest person to listen to if you're just talking about their voice. Now, I know.
Yeah, that's something they do. They do overwhelm with information. And yeah, I still get swag books offers. I don't really use it much anymore. They really went away from doing anything useful. Still scan the receipts from time to time.
People in glass houses should not throw stones. I don't have a perfect voice for broadcasting, okay? Lex Fridman makes me super confident in myself.
Yeah, I truly don't understand his appeal. It's like he just leaned into everything you shouldn't. Like as a, you think when you're becoming a broadcaster, I should be charismatic and I should have a clear perspective and I should be fun to listen to. It's like Lex Fridman just did the exact opposite of every single one of those things and somehow succeeded massively.
20 years, she's an executive producer.
She looks miserable every day on air.
I'm just telling you, I think that there's more to it. Otherwise, she would have left already.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's why she's doing the audition though, to get the offer, at least in part. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. I mean, there's no doubt that she wants it, for sure. My money is just for the next 3-4 years.
I tend to agree with that assessment.
And thank you, RJ, for the $5. Adam and Sitch. To Glenn Beck, pathetic. Billionaire Elon sucks on Trump. Don fills cabinet with the most rich. Culture war. He said people are eating cats. This almost sounds like sound lyric or song lyrics or something. Like Adam and Sitch to Glenn Beck or something. You know, like the
Adam and Sitch go to Glenn Beck, pathetic. Billion Elon sucks Trump. Don fills a cabinet with the most rich. Culture war. He said people are eating cats. I don't know.
There you go. Shout out to you, RJ.
Still at work, so no pity comment, but here's $5. I'm one of the 5 Marxists that she's talking about. Anyway.
Yeah, shout out to you, John. Thanks for the $5.
That's how all Queen songs sound to me.
Never been a huge Queen fan myself.
Love the politics, love the gayness, and the proud, unabashed nature of Freddie Mercury. But to be honest, I think sonically they might be one of the most overrated bands.
Yeah, and like
they're like AC/DC. Like I just think it's grating to listen to.
A lot of their songs aren't even that gay. Like when I was growing up, I always associated them with like sports and stuff because like we will rock you. Like that's not really gay. It sounds like something.
They have a lot of gay songs.
I know they do, but I'm talking about the ones that I'm listening to growing up. Hence my stating of that. But yeah, the ones that you hear a lot like out in the wild. They're kind of just like anthems that you chant at a fucking football game or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the other one that's that? We Are the Champions or whatever? Like, again, I'm not a Queen hater.
The same one that you just. Oh no, We Will Rock You and We Are the Champions. That's true. But then you've got like Bohemian Rap.
For sure, that's the third one. But the first two that you hear growing up, usually in the context of a sporting event, are the two that I mentioned. That was my list.
No, I hear you. That's actually, I actually found out what being gay was because of the band Queen.
I think I've heard that from many people.
Yeah, my sister had a pie